Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. Well, what the heck is going on in Washington? Well, I'm on with one of our favorite Congresswomen Claudia Tenney. One smart lady, one good friend. And Congresswoman, we're past the problem of funding for at least a few weeks. And next week, I understand, Mike Johnson has said that they want to put together the bill that allows only American citizens to vote. Give us a little bit of updating on that.
Yeah, well, this is called the SAVE Act, and it's a real passion of mine. As you know, I after my crazy election of 2020 and Trump's crazy election, through the pandemic, we had, I went from winning by 28,422 votes to 100 days in court fighting off Mark Elias and the Democrats, and ended up winning only by 109. And so I started the Election Integrity Caucus. And this is a really important issue. There's nothing more important in a constitutional republic that we have than protecting our sacred right to vote. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that it's one citizen, one vote. And interesting, our own New York Court of Appeals ruled that you have to be a citizen to vote in our elections. That was part of our state constitution, and they upheld it, even though they're a left-leaning, if not far-left court. And the same is true of our U.S. Constitution. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we have states across the nation making sure that is one citizen, one vote in our elections. That's actually the foundation of a constitutional republic. It's we the people who are pay taxes, the people who are citizens, the people who consent to be the governed in our communities. So it's really important. The SAVE Act would just say that we have to have U.S. citizens, and you have to prove that you have citizenship. And this is a huge winner. 95% of Republicans support it, and probably those other 5% would too, but they don't know enough about it. Over 70% of Democrats, and even Stacey Abrams, the famous Georgia candidate Democrat, she changed her position and said that she supports voter ID and making sure that we can secure the vote with citizens only. So this is a really important issue. And I will tell you something, in a first world country like the United States, this is required. If you want to go and go to a bank, if you want to pick up a check, if you want to do anything with the physician, anything that's important in your life, you have to show that you are the person receiving those services and that you are who you say you are, proving that that's through a valid ID. There is nothing controversial about that in any part of our society. The reason the Democrats oppose it is because they want to be able to undermine our election integrity, undermine our sacred right to vote, pour non-citizens into our country and get them to turn the results in elections and change, the outcome. That is against everything we stand for. It's not democratic, as they claim it might be, and there is nothing discriminatory about requiring that. And I will just tell you, John, really quickly, I was able to be one of the official observers of the Honduran election in November last year. They have a very secured right to vote. You have to go in, and not only as you go into your precinct to vote, there is a picture with your name under it, and those people who are allowed to vote in that particular precinct. And when you go in, they use biometrics to make sure that you say you are who you say you are. You also have to provide a valid ID and proof that you reside in the district that you're voting in. And this is a third world country, by the way, who has a more secured voting than we do. So this is almost universally required around the world, and only in the most worst regimes where they have authoritarianism and they have no real rights as for citizens do they actually not require it.
Wow, understood. So many other things are going on in Washington. What else do you feel real passionate about?
Right. Well, look, the big issue going on right now is this, defund and demoralize the police movement that was popularized back in 2018.
They managed to take all the money missing off the front page, and that's what they did. In other words, if there's between all the blue states, as if there's $100 billion missing. So they spend another few $1 million in shipping in people that are stirring the pot on something else.
That's exactly right. This is all to cover up the fact that there is massive fraud, abuse, and waste going on. The Quality Learning Center doesn't get talked about now except with Republican circles. But this is an economic crime. And you're also seeing, these crimes are happening against law enforcement, people interfering in a law enforcement officer's execution of a warrant. And it's very important. These are specific procedures that they're doing. This is not just a cop on the beat walking down the street. These are people that know that there's a person that are dangerous criminals. They're going into to find them and to apprehend them. And we also don't know, and what these protesters don't know and don't care about, is these are dangerous people, and they may have innocent people that they are living with that could be in harm's way. And that is happening. And when you have this anti-police movement, you're gonna create dangerous situations and tragedies that have happened in Minnesota. And unfortunately, this could happen elsewhere. And Kathy Hochul has now brought this terrible law and this terrible lack of working with our law enforcement to New York. The 287G program is a federal program that allows our local officials to work with ICE. And you know why this was created? Because we had the largest 9/11 was the largest terrorist attack in our nation's history in our greatest city. And the 9/11 Commission, bipartisan, came out and said, our police need to work with each other. They need to be able to work with each other. And this is why the 287G program is there. Unfortunately, under Governor Cuomo, we passed a law that said that they can't work with each other. The DMV records can't be put out, and this makes it difficult. Now, Kathy Hochul is threatening some of the jurisdictions in upstate New York, particularly, and in Long Island, Nassau County, where Bruce Blakeman is the county executive, and our nominee looks to be possibly for governor. She is going after them when they're trying to keep their residents safe. I might add, Steve McLaughlin has always complied with the 287G program and always allowed his local law enforcement in Rensselaer County to work with the federal police. So this is important that we have police work together to keep our communities safe, so we don't have another 9/11, which could very well happen with the way that this lawlessness is going on.
Claudia Tenney, thank you so much for coming on this Sunday morning. And I'm very passionate about both. All our law enforcement agencies should work together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Great to be on.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Payne Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.